The name's Demetrius Dixon, and I'm finally showing off my full vision of Monkanics as a game, plus the current development progress for version 0.2's development. There are actually so many new subscribers and Discord members, and that's because of Ratobi33, a fan of my old work. Since they made a video about me, I got a 10 plus subscriber boost, and I'd just like to say thank you very much. Getting back on track, the scope of Monkanics is quite focused, as the game only has a small set of core mechanics, but has quite a lot of depth within those few mechanics. I'll also be introducing Monkanics as if nobody knows anything, so we're all on the same page. Also, while everything is still technically subject to change, everything is pretty much final. So, let's get started. What is Monkanics? Monkanics, Monkey plus Mechanics, is a DIY free and open source arena shooter. It is also a grassroots live service game. This is a brand new term I coined, and I will elaborate more on it in the later sections. Also, for clarification, DIY is a pun of the acronym Do It Yourself. It represents Monkanics' main feature, the weapon crafting, and its overall identity. In the game, you'll invent your own weapons of mass misconstruction from the ground up, directly controlling how, where, and what you shoot. Combined with a monkey-like moveset where you can run fast, jump high, climb any vertical surface, and grab items like shields from enemies, you'll fight in a 6-player free-for-all to collect the Monkanics' most precious resource, bananas. A super sweet hybrid of a bean and a banana that the Monkanics are obsessed with. So to summarize the core game features, it's crazy multiplayer combat collectathon gameplay, in-depth projectile weapon crafting via the invention system, and free and open source forever via Godot 4.7 Plus on Windows and Linux. I'll explain exactly what open source means later in the video. Some side game features are in-depth Monkanic customization, which is purely visual, a vibrant low-poly art style, and a simple excuse plot that's only used to support the gameplay. Alright, who are the Monkanics? The Monkanics are cyborg lab apes whose human creators went on lunch break and never came back. Left without a purpose, if they ever had one to begin with, their greed and ingenuity now knew no bounds in a world turned downside up. What you're seeing here is some concept art made by my friend Snap. This is the default in-game Monkanic and the poster child for the game. It's a simple, vibrant design of a cyborg chimpanzee who scavenges and stores things in a backpack. While I don't have more concept art yet, this will be used as the base for everything else, as it captures the vibe I want from Monkanics. You can find Snap's socials in the description. I highly recommend you support their work and commission them directly. I said a little earlier that Monkanics is free and open source. What does that mean exactly? Open source means that Monkanics' source code is publicly available via a code repository, in this case Github. Most games are closed source, so the source code is private. Monkanics being open source means you can download, fork, and edit the code whenever you want, for whatever purpose you want, as long as you follow Monkanics' licensing conditions. A license, in simple terms, is a legal document detailing how people can use something, as determined by the copyright holder. Monkanics is dual licensed. The code is licensed under the copyleft AGPL v3, and its art is licensed under the CC BY NCSA 4.0. In simple, non-legal terms, anyone can see, use, and fork the source code, but any fork must also be open source under the same copyleft license. The art assets are separate. They're free to use and remix non-commercially, but can't be sold or used commercially without permission from the copyright holder, aka me, Demetrius Dixon, and one day my future game studio. The reason Monkanics is open source is to allow easy modability by players. You only need a Godot pack file with a game export, real-time development transparency, because you can see actually what I'm working on in real time, the community to support Monkanics' development directly via pull requests, and the ability for the game to survive without me. The server code is in the game files and costs almost nothing to run on any public IPv4 on a Linux distro/image. Please check out the README file for all the information you need about the repo. So, what in the world is a grassroots live service game? I coined this term to differentiate Monkanics from other PvP live service shooters. While Monkanics will be getting content updates after it's released, the game will have absolutely no in-game microtransactions, and no FOMO tactics found in the gaming industry nowadays. The game will always be free and physically cannot die. I want to focus my game development career on creating a really fun game with great people like you, instead of simply chasing profit. So, how am I gonna fund Monkanics then? Well, we'll get to that in the final section right after this. So, Monkanics' current development status and future plans. Right now, Monkanics is still in its early prototype phase. I'm currently developing version 0.2, which is the full netcode rewrite. I've set a personal deadline for August 31st to get all of that done. Once the netcode is rewritten, I can start developing the actual gameplay and graphics, starting with the Monkanics' base moveset, the invention system, and finally the Bonanza game mode, plus some complementary game mechanics along the way. Overall, I want to reach a stable 1.0 release with a small amount of content, but has a full game loop be ready to be expanded upon. Support Monkanics! So, do you like what you see and want to see Monkanics exist in the current gaming landscape? I'm sure I do. So it would mean the world if you would subscribe to this channel and join the Discord to keep up with all of Monkanics' updates. I've also started gathering funding for Monkanics' continued development via bootstrapping from my own finances and starting a Ko-Fi page. If you want to support Monkanics' development, a small $5 monthly donation makes a world of difference. One donation is enough to fund an entire relay server, 5 donations is enough for a piece of concept art, 25 donations is enough for a 3D model. Every cent counts. As a reminder, Monkanics will have no microtransactions and will remain free and open source forever under very permissive licenses. I also do have some monthly funding stretch goals. At $100 a month, server infrastructure is fully funded, meaning the main engine server in the US and the relays all around the globe for smooth connectivity. At $250 a month, Waxshop Games can become an official registered business in the US. This also pays for the registered agent so I don't have to leak my address. Small note, while monthly funding is between $250 and $9,999, all funding will be used to commission art for Monkanics. That is by far Monkanics' biggest expense. At $5,000 a month, Monkanics is fully funded, meaning servers, art, commissions, everything the game needs for long-term content updates. And at $10,000 a month, I, Demetrius Dixon, can go full-time and quit my job and work on Monkanics exclusively. Monkanics will become my job at that point, as I'll be compensated $5,000 per month minus self-employment taxes for my work. Note, funding beyond $10,000 will be used for further Monkanics development and company growth. Ko-Fi is not the only source of these funding goals, as there's things like YouTube ad revenue, future real-life merch sales, etc. Now's your chance. Help a free and open source arena shooter thrive in 2026 today. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. Make sure to share Monkanics with your friends and the friends of your friends. I want Monkanics development to be my full-time job one day, and this is just the beginning. And with that, I'll see you in another video.